Well, I think I'm established enough in the new house now to start doing some work, so I want to do a couple of textural ones. I've been promising myself this before I even came. I'm going to do this one, which is one of the river just down here, and it was taken in summer last year, and do this with a raised texture and then build up and paint and use the resin at the end again. We're going to do two like this, one a vertical one, and then I want to do two sunflower ones, and then we'll see where we go from there, if at all. What I'm doing first is just marking the picture off with chalk here. I'm going to do the same on the side of the board, just approximately. That's the thing with the landscape, you don't have to be exact as long as we're near enough. So quarters of here. I needn't even draw the lines right across because I can tell where I'm going to come. And then just start drawing in the objects where they come on here. For instance, that tree there comes just on line with here. If I do a V shape there, about there, then I know that that's coming in like that there, down through. It's just below the halfway line here, so it's about, I haven't drawn those marks yet. There we go, it's about halfway down here, so halfway down here, coming through, and that comes up to about a quarter here, so it's coming down, out, like that, all the way down to here. So I can just show you a bit of how it goes. These gnarled old knobbly trees here, down through, like that. Now just above the quarterway here, coming up at an angle, we've got this lovely bit of water which is going to reflect down here. That's coming at about an eighth, so quarter eighth, about here. Up and all the way across there, down round. Now obviously this is going to reflect what's above it, so if I come down here, that's that bit of tree coming up there. This one comes down through here, leaves a gap there, nice little gap to make a shape. And the other tree comes up through like that. There's a V shape there as well. time using the acrylic paints we've just been looking at. I've got my standard palette here of colours, good melange, a good mixture of colours there. Got a few more to buy now. I'm over in France. Got one, a bright green I'm missing, for instance. And we've got the texture done on this picture already, and I've already painted it with black emulsion, so we're ready to go ahead and start putting in the colours one over another. We need lights over darks and darks over lights. We've got to start working this out, planning it out. This rather lovely little lamp that a friend bought me from England, a daylight bulb on it, which just clips on top of the easel, which is rather good, very helpful. So I'll bring the camera around now for you to see me laying on the paints this way. So we know the picture we're doing, show it to you again on screen as well. And I've got to start working out all of these background lights. I can leave these darks behind the trees. We need to work out what's going on in the background as the colours come one over another, using our textures as well. So I'm going to start with these very pale blue greens. Take my lid off my Stay Wet palette. Then a very simple Stay Wet palette of just a sandwich box with paper towel on the bottom, wet, paints on top, the lid on stays dry for ages. Using a fairly stiff brush. I've got quite stiff cheap brushes here that I want to use because they push the paint into these textures. I wouldn't use this for painting on a canvas. I want much finer brushes, but for this work it's fine. Larger pots of paint and smaller tubes and so on. I buy my paint usually in much larger amounts now for the sort of work I'm doing. I try and keep out of the way as much as possible, but obviously I've got to reach across the water and so on. It's almost impossible to get an angle where I can paint and you can see everything going on all of the time. But I want to start with fairly cool colours in the background, so I'm going to take some turquoise at the moment and just start to work that in. Put my picture in my hand into here. I'll look at these different turquoise blues that are going on into the background. I want to work them right in, just leaving some texture behind. The water comes down to here, it comes through, the blues come through here. It takes a little time to get things established, to find out where I'm going. I'll just bring you back in little sections to see how we're doing. So I'm just bringing you back a moment to show you how the work is progressing as I add these cools and warms down here amongst the darks. Well, now you're just beginning to see how this thing is starting to glow and we're getting some depth into it, which is lovely. Using our warm and cool colours and blue ranges, just coming into the turquoise with a slight touch of green here and there. Now we're just starting to work up towards a few more of these lighter colours. A bit more yellow into it now. I'll start to bring these darks out, we're putting the lights against them. So first of all, let's look at the very pale blue greens in the background. They're quite light. Bring some of these lighter colours in gradually and become stronger and stronger as we go along. Just painting with light and letting the textures do the work as well. So we get these lighter, it's the sunlight just trickling through here, it's gorgeous. And I'm going to get stronger yet with these colours. So until now we've used quite cool greens. Let's see what happens when we start to use greens with more yellow in. The picture will start to change again. Some lovely deep bits of sunlight going on behind here. Rich light happening in puddles behind. As you see, I'm now working up brighter and stronger colours, which makes the other ones that seemed strong before not so strong now compared next to them, and that's what we're dealing with. It's comparisons, warm next to cools and stronger values of colour. Now I need to go back again to some of the cooler greens, so I'm going to go back to my turquoise now with white. See if I can go back and find some of these much lighter. But there's a cerulean in that as well, and more white, just able to find these acid cool spots back here, and more white still, that's quite light, just back behind the tree, coming down through these leaves into here, between these leaves here, because these cool colours are going to play against these warmer ones. So it's important. We've got to have one play. You've got to just paint one colour because each colour plays against the other. I'm taking some cerulean blue and white now. I'm just coming back into here against these pinks with this much cooler blue, which again will make the pinks glow out. Still playing stronger colours and stronger colours, all against cools. That's the tree, let's bring the tree out a bit more again. Right, I'm just going to take some black now. Just find some of my darks that have been a bit lost. Black and purple together, a little bit more vibrance to it. I'm just going to look at the foreground a little bit more, maybe make it a little bit more orange to brown in places, here especially, just to bring it forward a bit. Bring some light into here. And these little textured areas taking on a bit more sunlight and glow, just to bring it, to lift it. Against. I mean, remember the opposites in the colour circle, as I've talked to you about Constable in the past, how he used red in his landscapes, even if it's just on a figure, to pick out the greens. And I guess I'm on my last stages, but I'm just putting back in some of these darks, which I know the resin will bring out later anyway, but I've just lost a few of them, so I just want to go back in with a bit of dark here and there, making sure that my deep shadows are being seen. I just want to bring out the leaves a little more here. I can, the sunlight, just a little bit more. Let's do this a little bit here. Just bring the line to the centre more. So I think that will do quite nicely. Let's take a closer look at it, shall we? And those textures. You see how the textures now give us that wonderful effect of everything here. And then we'll zoom back out again and look at the thing as a whole.